Hi, this is again First Tempo, and I'm very happy to welcome in the podcast the head coach of the French Champion Tour, Marcelo Fronckowiak. Marcelo, thank you for accepting the invitation to be in the podcast.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Bulgaria.
Thank you again, and let's start from there. Fronckowiak is not the most popular Brazilian name. Can you tell us about your heritage?
Yeah, I am born in Brazil. I am 55 years old, and I come from the south of Brazil. In this region, we have a big immigration from Europe. Okay, from my father, I have this Polish name. Okay, and from my mother, I have Italian passport. Because my mother, I have know the name of my mother, but my mother has Lovato Kogo. So it's a big mix, but I am not the only one. My whole in Brazil, in this region, it's the name is the city is New Hamburg. It's a big immigration, German immigration. So in this region, it's common that we have this origin from Europe, and it's a little bit funny because everybody think about how it's a Brazilian usually Souza, Silva, Santos, and Fronckowiak, Fronckowiak. It's not really Brazilian, and I agree anyway that it's close about the history of my region.
Yeah, and so when it comes to volleyball, probably Polish and Brazil is I don't know the best combination. In some
Yeah,
way.
it's interesting to have this origin about volleyball. Also, in Poland, I was really welcome. Uh, we can say Fronckowiak, but in Polish it's Fronckowiak, and I could to find some Fronckowiak people there. That's prove my Polish blood. Two important schools, but we have another important school in the world of volleyball also, and in the building Brazilian school of volleyball, we had really important moments against Bulgaria, for example. Really good school also.
Yeah, and you're not the first Polish to be in the podcast, but you're the first Brazilian to be in the podcast, and that's why I have the following question. Some time ago, I wrote in an article that in Brazil, volleyball is sport number one because football is a religion. Uh, can you agree with that statement?
Look, to understand the impact of sports in the Brazilian society, we need to imagine how the poor people, for example, can have access in the society. So I come from a really simple family, and to have access in the good situations, good schools, private schools, etc. A lot of times we use sports. It was my case. It was a case of plenty of players, and soccer, for example, it's a solution for people that live around the big cities, in favelas, in places like that. And soccer in Brazil gives you an opportunity to earn a lot of money quickly. Okay, but it's not so different about a volleyball. But the impact of soccer, it's amazing about the quantity of money in the clubs and the media, etc. But volleyball, it's really interesting also because we can feel something important in the Brazilian society about what we built with our history in volleyball. This is something that we must to be proud, but we must to take attention also. We have no the regular system of education. We are improving this last year, but a lot of times, even in soccer or in volleyball, a lot of youngers, they just leave the studies to be inside the professional sports. And I think this is not the best formula. I love, like we have in Europe, here in French, in all Europe, or even in the US, that we have a program, school program to follow and to finish, and at this time we can become really professional players.
And we know that Brazilian boys play football in the streets, but I'm not that acquainted of how they play volleyball. Is there some nets just in the streets and in the neighborhood, or?
It depends a lot about the region. For example, coming from the south of Brazil, my region, we have some hard winter. We are close to Argentina and Uruguay. It's a little bit different, but we have a lot of possibility in this tropical country to be outside from the region, Rio, São Paulo, Minas, Belo Horizonte, to the northeast of Brazil, a lot of beaches. So it depends a lot how much popular is our national team. We had in our history 3 gold medals, and each time that we had gold medal, the streets became plenty of players and people trying to practice this sport. And we have this big sea around the coast, Atlantic, and it's not so hard to put a net and try to play volleyball. But I think the more than the sport, professional sport, volleyball is a passion because he is more democratic for girls, for boys than soccer, for example. And we have this idea in volleyball. It's about to play mixed teams, a lot of pleasure inside. It's a little bit different from soccer, but it depends a lot. This is something important to say here in this moment, that the volleyball product in Brazil, really important, is the national team. We have good clubs, important clubs like Sada Cruzeiro right now, but a lot of times we cannot keep the history of the clubs. We have some good clubs, they leave, they have good story, and they finish. It's really hard to keep this professional structure, important structure, also in our Superliga.
Can you tell us about your start of career as a player? I mean, and then we can talk about your coaching career. But can you tell us from the very beginning, how did you start playing volleyball and being a professional player?
Yeah, I come from this silver generation in Brazil, because until the 80s, Brazil was almost nothing about international results. In 1975, Carlos Arthur Nussmann took the presidency of Brazilian Federation, and he decided to make a lot of challenges with important countries. For example, that time, they think for the future of Brazilian national school, they said, we are not so strong like Bulgarian people, like Russian people, for example. We need to develop our school like Japanese. So we have missions with coaches and players going to Japan to learn with Japan that time, that they were Olympic champions. So
72, I think, right?
72, exactly.
Yeah.
Volleyball is 68, the first time in Japan, and 72 they won. In 80 Olympic Games in Moscow, it's the first time that we go in the first five. It's amazing result, and that time we start to have a professional volleyball in clubs, and we had second place in the World Championship and second place in Olympic Games in Los Angeles. So a tall guy, young like me, that was passionate by sports, that played soccer naturally that time, I started to play volleyball with my brother André, and that time it was amazing, because everybody wants to do something different. Everybody wants to practice these sports, and really fast I could understand that I had that time one perspective to become professional. So I did my career. I started like professional 18 years old in this the region, that really good region to practice volleyball, and I play until 31 as a professional. And in the end of my career, I was already coach of juniors, and I started to think my career to become a professional coach also. And really young, I started as a professional coach, and I am the first one, and I am the youngest coach champion in Brazil in the Superliga, and the first one that became champion in his first season.
Yeah, that's very very similar to what Bebeto and Radostin Stoichev did in Italy, I think, for winning the league in the first year. But with your coaching career, there is something very interesting, in my opinion. You started coaching just when volleyball opened up a new page. I mean, the new system. You are playing, I believe, almost your whole career in the old system, and you started coaching when the new system was in place. So what are the issues to adapt to it? Because I believe it's pretty different.
First of all, I say thank you so much to talk about Stoichev and Bebeto. They are legends of volleyball, and there's my big respect for these two guys. Bebeto, sorry, is not more there, but it was really important to build this Brazilian school of volleyball. I don't know, Bogdan, if you know something about the history of Brazil volleyball, and also specific situations that we live from 90. The International Federation, they start to propose new rules about time in volleyball. Everybody was talking that these old rules was not more possible about the confirmation of serves. And so in Brazil, we play a lot of different kind of rules. We play, for example, one championship that the limit in 50 points in the old rules, we play 25 minutes in these old rules. Okay, so 25 minutes, the referee come down from his chair, and we make again tirage au sort, and we start to play the end of each set tie break. Crazy. Some years ago, we play some rules with 21 points set, not only 25. I play a lot of different rules as a player until the moment that we are arriving this modern volleyball with only tie break, like a tennis, etc., etc. So in my case, I had a chance to have a coach when I was a teenager, that he proposed us to play tie break like right now. He had a sentence, this guy, he said, in a moment, we're going to play a volleyball that is going to be forbidden for mistake. He was some kind of genius, this guy. Justino Martins, the name of this coach, was really good coach, and I was really young, and everybody was really upset about this. Hey, coach, it's not possible. Volleyball is not like that. And he said, in a moment, you can be sure in the future the volleyball will change. And more or less, it was not so different to think. I must to say to you that in the beginning, I was not so comfortable about these new tie break rules, point for everything in each action. But I can say that now it's much more interesting to watch volleyball, these new rules.
Yeah, I can remember that when I was at school, probably that was I don't know, 10 years old, 11 years old, something like this. We always decided if we were going to play the old rules or the new rules. So it wasn't like it was just I can't remember when exactly that was it with the old rules. 99, I think.
98, 99.
Yeah, something like this. But it was a very big change. And in this regard, you said that you were not that. In the beginning, it was hard with the new system. But do you think the old rules have some advantage over the new rules?
Look, I don't think so. To be honest, I think the big difference, it was about serves, okay? The quality of serves and the intensity of serves. And I had once the opportunity to ask from the assistant coach of Bebeto in national team, okay, Jorge de Barros. It's a wonderful coach, also a really good former. And I asked to this sir, why Brazilian didn't have more pressure on serves that time, because the side out of Brazil that time was amazing. The possibility in attack with William Dalzotto, with Xandó, with these amazing players was so good. Brazil was so good inside out, but Brazil was so bad in break point in transition. But everybody just keep the serves like a long float serves, etc. It was not easy reception in this kind of serves, but the impact of aces were not so important like as today. And we had the advantage that time to make mistake in the serves without problems, without impacting the points in the score points. So maybe it was something that everybody lose this mentality to improve and to take more risk on serves at that time. The big problem for volleyball with the old system, it was the time. I play games with 4 hours and a half more. Can you imagine on TV something like that? It's completely crazy. We need to have this block of 2 hours on media, on TV, etc. So the game right now, it's much more interesting to watch, and we have this feeling that each time, each moment, we can decide something.
Yeah, we started talking a lot about the rules, but if you have this possibility, what improvement in the rules would you do?
I don't like the idea that to limit the net, for example. A lot of people talk about to put some limits, maybe more than 2 and 43. I think that the volleyball must to keep this idea that's a democratic sports. Even not tall guys can play even like a libero, or we can have some genius like Giba 192. I can imagine that maybe we can think about the limit of mistakes, for example, or to put some rules about when we're gonna land after serves. We had this kind of situations 2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago in juniors world championship, that with smash serves don't land inside the court, for example. I think that we need to have the continuous thinking about the possibility to adaptation. Sometimes it's not so beautiful to watch volleyball with the sequence of mistakes in serves, mistake. This is not so good for our modality, I think. And maybe to try to control the possibility of limit of mistakes in serves maybe can be something interesting. But we need for that to use some championships, some regions, some country to use this new possibility. Like as I said to you, that I could to be the cobaia in Brazil, some different rules, because it's not like that. You just use thinking something new and to put in order.
Yeah, you mean that after serve the player should land outside, because I remember that in his best serving years, Ousmane Conterana was just he was attacking from the 7th meter, something like this. Yeah, when serving.
One interesting thing, Bogdan, that when we watch old volleyball from 60, it's just the first contact of block count 1 touch, for example.
Yeah, like in beach.
Exactly. This can be something interesting, okay, and can provoke some adaptations in the defense system, and also to make better the players that have the second contact, for example, because the second contact became a set. This is something interesting until 84, I think 84, yeah, to block the serves also. This can be some possibility because the service right now is so aggressive, but so aggressive that to come back from the past and try to put this possibility to control a little bit this aggressivity in serves can be interesting, maybe.
Yeah. And a question about statistics: where do you start from when preparing for a match? And do you think there are different models in different countries in this regard?
Sure. I could to start to learn data volley in 2003, 2004. We had no this access to data volley. This is that's a expensive technology for poor people like Brazil in the 90, 80. We had a lot of things by hands. I start a lot, and I do until right now. This possibility to take a lot of notes and to make attack direction, service direction, this, I think it's really important to build himself about knowledge, how to read the game. And now it's easy, much more easy to read setters, to read attack directions, service directions, to have the idea that how the opponent build the point, if they are more strong onside out on break point. This is okay. But I love to watch full game, for example. This is some kind of thing that I love when I have time, of course. Okay, sometimes it's not so easy, but I love to watch the reaction of the setter and his connection with the spikers, how the team react after a success, after a problem, when they lost the point. And so I try to be inside the study, not only about technical stuff, but also about the behavior of the opponent that we're going to have. So for me, it's really important also, and this is to analyze the setter with the quality of reception. If he is someone that try to play the middles only in perfect and good situations, or he can force the middles with exclamative and a reception of outside from the net. If this setter loves to repeat, and this is the kind of situation that I have like idea when I start to study. And data volley, it's so amazing, and we have a point of contact in reception and choice of the setter. And for me, yesterday I played one game, a friendly game, okay, and in a moment, in the tactical way we won 3-2, but in a tactical way we just put the ball back the setter, and it was a problem for the setter to find solution. We just in the tactic serve, it was not a bomba, it was not a really hard serve, and sometimes we are so fixed about powerful serves, about strong situations to decide, and some tactic situations can decide and change completely. I think that us as a head coach, professional coach, we must be open for all the possibilities.
Yeah, you mean that the ball is coming from behind his back of the setter.
Exactly.
Yeah, before the start of recording, you told me that you've been to Bulgaria two times with the Brazilian national team. But one of these matches were especially very interesting, curious match. The Olympic qualifier in 2019 before Tokyo, even though Tokyo came unfortunately 2 years later after that. But that match we started with 2-0, but you beat us 3-2. What are your memories from this match? And yeah, it was very tense.
I was not more there. You know that my time with Brazilian national team.
Yeah.
I was with Pan American national team that time. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this moment, Renan Dalzotto, the head coach, he decided to put me in this mission with youngers. To
Yeah.
play Pan American games. It's quite the same time we play this qualification against the Bulgaria in Bulgaria. For me, this game was completely amazing because Bulgaria leads 2-0 and had 24-23 with Sokolov in serves. Sokolov did an ace, timeout to Brazil, and when we come back to the game, Sokolov made a mistake. If I am sure, but I think that's something like that. And I don't know how Brazil come back to the game and beat Bulgaria in this amazing game. You know, the history between Brazil and Bulgaria is hard. It's really hard. Your president, I think he's still president of Brazilian Bulgarian Federation, Ganev. Yes, he's still president.
Yeah.
In 90, he destroyed Brazil anytime, many times, with reserves and attack aggressivity also. And 86 also in the World Championship in Paris, Brazil and Bulgaria play for the third place. And that time, the third place give place for the Olympics in 88 in Seoul. So we have this long history, and for me, it was interesting to watch how Brazil could come back in this game, because in 2 years before we lost against Bulgaria in Varna two times with this atmosphere, unbelievable, crazy people, fans around. It's really hard to play in Bulgaria against the national team. And I think also this national team Bulgaria has a DNA and wonderful players. Always doesn't matter the moment we're gonna be. Bulgaria national team will be competitive team. Doesn't matter the scenario.
Yeah, so you are here in 2017, right? With the World League, or I can't remember. Probably World League was still the World League, and in 2018 for the World Champion, you played in Russia, I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And I mentioned in the beginning that you are a champion of France with Tour the last season. What makes, in your opinion, the French league so suitable, appropriate for developing young talent?
But first of all, the French school is really interesting. They could for years to build some kind of culture of volleyball without really physical players. This is really interesting. We can observe right now guys like Ervin Ngapet, Kevin Tilly, Tony Uti. Okay, they still are really important and technical players, but the old generation, the generation of Laurent Tilly, Alain Fabiani, they always had a really good school. They formed a lot of important players. I think this is the trademark of a French national volleyball and French school. And one interesting thing also that in this championship, the money is not so high as Italy, like in Italy or in Poland or Turkey or even in Russia. But the rules here in French are really strict for the clubs. If you have a contract, you're gonna receive your all the contract until the end. And in some important leagues, for the foreigner players, it's not so strict like that. If the manager or for the president or for the fans, they are not so happy about one player, they can kick out, and after you're gonna fight injustice for your money. So French has this interesting situation, and also I think French represented this step good step to arrive in the expensive leagues and more hardest championship in Europe, like Italy and Poland, for example. And these make the density of the champion is really interesting. In French, it's really common that the first one and the second one lose against the last one. If you compare with important leagues, this is not so usual.
Some Bulgarian players played in France the last season, like Nikolai Kolev and Nikolai Kurtev. The latter is back to Bulgaria, and we'll have some further players to play this season, like Dimitar Dimitrov in Montpellier, and also in Narbonne together with Nikolai Kolev, Georgi Tatarov. Do you have some impressions? You have some impressions for sure for some of them, but also for the new ones.
Look, this middle blocker that played in Toulouse, he was amazing.
And also Denis Karagin, also in Toulouse,
yeah. He's amazing player. I didn't know this player before, and I was impressed. His quality, how he read the game. So when I try to compare a little bit Bulgarian volleyball style with Brazilian, because I think that you are creative, okay? But there's something more interesting that's about the culture of defense for the first line. When I talk the defense in first line, I talk about block. It's really natural for Bulgarian players to be strong in block, to be aggressive. If Brazilian volleyball will have a lot of pleasure in attack, for you, it's a little bit different. For your players, they take a lot. They have a lot of pleasure to make a block, to be aggressive, and to make. Doesn't matter the way that you're gonna make the point, but this aggressivity, natural aggressivity, and close also with creativity. For me, doesn't matter. As I said in the beginning, the scenario that you have your national team, for example, right now, maybe you are not in the top 10. But still, we have guys coming with wonderful level. The brothers Nikolov with the father Nikolov are so good, and now the brothers Nikolov, they are amazing. They are able to play opposite outside the hitters. If you give some possibility for them to play the setter, they're gonna play, because the volleyball is inside. This is so interesting culture, and sometimes I am curious to understand how it's possible to have so many players in the so small country like that. But because I think, and I study a little bit, that volleyball is inside your culture.
And my last question is, several times during the conversation, you mentioned that volleyball is democratic. Could you a little bit more elaborate on that?
Democracy is something that is important right now. Nowadays, we are living some hard moments around the world. We have here in Europe this conflict between Russia and Ukraine. I had the chance in my life to be part of something important. Volleyball is something so important for me. Okay, and I come from a poor family, simple family. The volleyball that time was played in the private clubs. I had no money to pay to go inside this club to enjoy the possibility, but volleyball gave me this possibility. Volleyball gave me this possibility to go to the good schools, to go to the university, and so I believe a lot that the power of sports to give opportunity. This is, for me, is really important. The sports, it's a tool that to give a lot of opportunity for all the people. Doesn't matter the color of the skin, doesn't matter origin, the size, that doesn't your shape, doesn't matter. That if you are able to be strong, to be inside, and to dedicate about the things that you do, and the sport represents like culture. My father is dead. He was an artist, a painting. Okay, the culture, the music, the sports, they give this democratic possibility. And I don't care if I have, for example, if I watch youngers playing volleyball and they are not so tall and are so strong, but they have ability. I'm gonna take this one, and I'm gonna take this one also has a good behavior to integrate a group and to develop this culture of sharing. And this is this democratic possibility in sports in volleyball.
Marcelo, thank you again for accepting the invitation to be in the podcast, and I believe it was it was also a big pleasure for the viewers and the listeners to watch or to listen to this. And thank you again for being here.
Bogdan, it's my pleasure. Bulgaria, okay, and I have a lot of respect for your country, for Bulgarian volleyball, and the possibility here, if my fake English, to share my ideas and my history. I try to speak another languages, and the volleyball gives also this possibility to integration, to sharing interesting situations. Big pleasure. Thank you so much. Keep doing this really good job that you are doing. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you again. Thanks for all the viewers for watching this, and see you also the next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.